The Evergreen Media Network Studio, powered by Scott Tree Services.
Treasure Coast Connector, connecting residents and businesses of the Treasure Coast. And here's your host, Ellen Contreras.
Welcome to Treasure Coast Connector. I'm your host, Ellen Contreras. Treasure Coast Connector is the talk show, an online community where we put a spotlight on interesting local businesses and organizations and resources and connect you, the consumers in the community, to these wonderful organizations. And I just flubbed my intro for the second time this year, and it's only April. But what I want you to know is that everyone has an interesting story of why they do what they do. And when we learn about what's happening in our own backyard and support these amazing organizations, it strengthens our local community and economy. For details on the show, links to discounts, promos, check out www.tcconnector.com. So now there's a very special nonprofit that has been on this show twice before, and they help children and their families on the Treasure Coast. The education and support and programs that they provide are vital to the success and health of our community. I'm talking about Hibiscus Children's Services. Joining me in the studio today are Matt Markley, and he is the president and CEO, and Lacey Buxton. She is a licensed mental health counselor and director of outpatient clinical services. They have a lot of wonderful updates to share with us. So welcome back to the show.
Thank you. We're glad to be here.
And since we do this live on live stream, we have 4,200 plus people, and they're all laughing at me. I say this week after week. Oh, well. But I'm going to just move on to you guys. I'm so happy. This is the third time that you are here, and there's a lot of good reasons why you're here. So before we talk about Hibiscus Children's Center, I would love to hear just a quick moment of why you wanted to join this nonprofit and do the work that you do with these children. So do you want to do ladies first, Matt? Thank you. Okay.
All right. Hey, everybody. So I have been with Hibiscus Children's Center for the last 7 years. We were talking earlier, but this is my second stint with Hibiscus Children's Center. I was here before from 2013 to 2017, and now since about 2018 to present. And it's just a wonderful organization. Part of what we do is we provide a safe space for kids to tell their story. We work with a lot of abused and neglected and abandoned children. So it gives them a safe haven to come and talk about the things that have happened to them and try to work through and just really process the trauma. So it's really important for us to provide that safe place for them and really just be a voice for the kids that don't have one.
And that's wonderful. And how about you? What made you come to Hibiscus?
Well, I'm a certified behavioral health administrator, and I've worked in community mental health for about 40 years. I hate to admit that. That's been a long time.
Well, you started when you were 12.
About 10. I think about 10, something like that, yeah. But anyway, when my wife and I decided we wanted to move south, and so I started looking for employment in the south, and this job came open. And Hibiscus is first and foremost a child welfare organization. But secondly, it is also a community mental health organization as well. And it has a vibrant, as Lacey's going to talk about, a very bright, vibrant outpatient community mental health program. And so it was in my bailiwick. And so I applied and was fortunate to be hired. And I've been with the organization for 6 years. And it is an awesome, and I'm not saying that because it has nothing to do with me.
Right.
It's an awesome organization because of what it does.
Well, since 1985, and we'll get into a special anniversary down the show in a little bit, but April is Child Abuse Prevention Month. And this is actually why LaVon Tilton started this in 1985. But somebody came forward to share their story that had been in the program and a resident like 30 years prior. So can you guys talk about his
let me tell you real quickly, Ellen, if I may.
Yeah.
If a child is removed from his or her home because of abuse or neglect, and the state of Florida cannot find a family or a friend to care for the child, they call an organization like Hibiscus, and we will take the child. If we have a bed and we can accept that child, we think the program is right for the child, we will accept that child. So there was a fellow that contacted us a couple of years ago from Chicago that had been in our Jensen Beach facility called the Shelter about 35 years ago. He and his two siblings, they were found wandering abandoned in a local motel in Stewart 35 years ago at age 5 and 3 and 2, I believe.
Oh, my goodness.
They were there for 6 days before anybody even knew they were there. So they called Hibiscus. They brought him to Hibiscus, and he came back. His name is Dave Miller, and he's happy to tell everybody his story. He came back from Chicago to spend a few days with us a couple weeks ago, and he told his story to hundreds of people while he was here of how kind and helpful and supportive Hibiscus was to he and his siblings 35 years ago. And it was an awe-inspiring story for me and everyone who heard his message.
Yeah.
He talked about things like he had a birthday party at Hibiscus. He had never had a birthday party. He didn't know there was such thing as a birthday party. Food was plentiful at Hibiscus. Food was not used as a weapon. Food had been used as a weapon to keep he and his siblings in line. It wasn't used like that at Hibiscus. Little things like that you take for granted in your house and everybody else's household.
Sure.
But that doesn't happen in every household.
Yeah.
And he told his story, and it was really awe-inspiring, as I say.
That's wonderful. Now, did you want to share anything about that before we move on to the next
No, I just
thing?
think it's a great testament to the things that people, the staff do at the residential settings as well, for him to be able to find a loving family or be reunited with his family, whichever it was. And now he's a successful person and wanted to come back and talk about that. And I thought that was really a testament to the work done.
He's owned several businesses. I'm sorry, Lacey.
Yeah,
he's owned several businesses in Chicago. He's an entrepreneur. And he's only 39, but he's now a parent himself of 2 young children. And he knows how important what Hibiscus did for him was. And he wouldn't give, we're not taking credit. Hibiscus would not take credit. He should get the credit for who he is. But he gives us Hibiscus a small amount of credit for how he ended up and how he was able to imagine what Hibiscus does is help kids imagine what a better life can be.
Sure.
And then when they get out of Hibiscus, they can fight for that. They can advocate for themselves. That's what we try to help them do, be able to advocate for themselves.
Yeah.
And they have the skills then that are necessary to be able to be successful and to be able to move forward. And it's really important to break that cycle also, so you're not doing those same things with your children when you have children.
And he broke the cycle.
Yeah, and
Dave
then
Miller
not
broke
only
the
that, but
cycle.
to be self-employed and create jobs for others. And wow,
He's going to start. He has a bagel shop now, and he wants to open up 10 or 12 other bagel shops in the Chicago area. So he's really an awesome guy.
That's
he really
great.
is.
That's great.
It was exciting to have him back.
Chicago bagels, not New York bagels. We could just start a whole thing. Okay, I'm from New York. I'm not even going to go there. Okay, so 2004. Can you believe that's like 20 years ago?
Yeah.
Like how? Okay, so now Hibiscus Children's Village was opened, and a lot of people kind of get confused about like the names. So I'd love to know, first of all, congratulations on the 20-year anniversary. But what is this village about?
Well, it takes a village, to raise children. It's true. It really is true. People don't like to hear that, but it's true. But the village is a residential center. It's a setting. It's a campus setting. It's 8 cottages. We don't use all the cottages right now, but we can take up to 40 kids there. It's for older kids. So if a child is removed from his or her home because of abuse or neglect, and they need a place to stay, Hibiscus will take them if they're 12 to 17 or 17 plus almost 18. Yeah. Once they turn 18, we can no longer provide services. They have to age out of the child welfare system. But we have about 32 kids, I think, there today, every day, all year long. We never close. We're open 365 days a year. No weekends, don't close for holidays, don't even close for hurricanes.
Yeah, it's a home. It's like their home.
It's their home.
Yeah.
So every day we have 30 kids there. So it's as opposed to our other facility, which is in Jensen Beach called the Shelter. It's an emergency shelter for kids infant to age 12. So we separate the younger and older kids, try to keep them separate. But we also try to work very hard to keep a sibling group together. So if there is a family together and they cross that age barrier, we either keep them at the shelter or we take them to the village. And we try to help them there because siblings want to stay together.
Oh, absolutely.
Particularly older siblings, I have found, want to care for their and will not allow them to be separated. Very protective. It's really heartrending, to be honest with you, when you see that. But we try to keep sibling groups together because we think that's important.
Well, very good. So now May is Mental Health Awareness Month. So if you could give me an overview of Hibiscus Children's Center and like all of the programs,
Okay, so for the outpatient programs, we provide services, individual and family therapy in the schools and in the homes. And if they prefer to come to the office, we also have offices available in the Fort Pierce location and in Port St. Lucie and Okeechobee as well. We're in 4 counties, Okeechobee, St. Lucie, Martin, and Indian River. And as Matt said, he mentioned that they age out sometimes from the residential settings. So we really try to provide continuity of care even. So if they're in the residential settings and they're staying in the area, we'll collaborate with the therapists that work in the residential settings and continue that therapy. Just because they turn 18, we don't like to say, oh, okay, you can't have therapy with us anymore.
Work with them, and you want to work with the families too. It's kind of nice to go to the homes because sometimes these parents are struggling. And, just with that support that you're providing, they can just bring themselves up and out of and end the cycle. Sometimes parents make bad decisions only because of how they were raised. And now you're helping to break that cycle.
Absolutely. And I always tell parents, you don't know what you don't know. So, we try to help you learn the skills to be able to parent effectively, manage behaviors at home effectively, because what's happening is they'll spill over into the school and every other aspect of the kid's life. So it becomes really difficult for them to even function. So, and then it just becomes a power struggle at home. So working with the parents is a big part of what we do in the outpatient setting.
Yeah.
So in our outpatient setting, we have our community mental health program that provides services to kids with behavioral issues, ADHD, some emotional dysregulation, things that go on. And like I said, we provide services in the 4-county area. We provide individual family therapy. Family therapy happens about once a month, and individual therapy is weekly, at least, sometimes twice a week, depending on the need. And then we have our sexual abuse treatment program. So that is a really important program. That's my baby. We've had that program, I think, for probably close to 15 years now.
Yeah, that's your area of specialty.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we have, that is working with survivors of sexual abuse, and sometimes also their non-offending caregiver as well, if they would like services to try to help them process. It's kind of like a parallel process, helping them work through their child's trauma and the shame and the guilt that they feel about what happened to their child.
Sure.
So we work with them as well, but we are one of 14 sanctioned programs in the state through the Department of Health. So that means our therapists have extra trainings. We're much more monitored because they come in and they do audits with us, clinical audits, and making sure we're providing the services as necessary.
Okay.
So
there are only 14 such programs in the state of Florida.
Right.
So Hibiscus has one, which means that kids who are victims don't have to travel 2 hours to get the care. We're right here in the community where they can get treatment.
Yeah.
And that's important.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm just looking at the time. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a very quick break, but we can come right back to this.
Perfect.
So stay tuned. You don't want to miss another moment. We'll be right back.
They're coming! The Blue Angels will roar over the skies of Vero at the Vero Beach Air Show, presented by Piper Aircraft Inc. See, hear, and feel the power of the Blue Angels, the MiG-17, the A-10 Warthog, and the Fat Albert. Experience the heat of the 2,000-foot-long wall of fire, with flames as high as 40 feet. And don't miss the fireworks extravaganza on Friday night, the Vero Beach Air Show, May 3rd, 4th, and 5th, presented by Piper Aircraft Inc. Get tickets online at VeroAirShow.com.
At Sunshine Furniture, our 35,000 square foot showroom is filled with the largest selection of in-stock coastal furniture on the Treasure Coast. Dining and bedroom sets, occasional tables, sofas, sleeper sofas, love seats and chairs, all in the latest styles and colors from Tommy Bahama, Lexington, Hooker, Riverside, Universal, Four Seasons, Braxton Color, and Capri. We're the outdoor furniture experts and have hundreds of styles of any patio furniture you need, including a gallery of Berlin Gardens and Pollywood. We specialize in fire pits, outdoor rugs, umbrellas, and replacement cushions. Right now, we're having a spring sale with lots of great markdowns and discounts on everything you need for your Florida home. Sunshine Furniture, 1295 US 1 in the Publix Plaza, Vero Beach. Family owned and operated since 1991. Don't forget to visit our outlet and sales store directly across the street, filled with lots of name brand closeouts and sale items. Visit our website at sunshinefurniturecasual.com.
Sunshine Furniture. It's time to call Easy Brew Coffee and Bottled Water Service and learn just how much you can save and how convenient it is to have your coffee and bottled water delivered right to your home or office. In addition to water coolers, Easy Brew offers individual bottles of water in 8 or 16-ounce bottles. No more lugging it home or dragging it into the office. Serving the Treasure Coast for over 2 decades, 2 letters, 1 simple name. Easy for Easy Brew. Visit e-zbrew.com or call 800-792-3285. Easy Brew.
Welcome back to Treasure Coast Connector. I'm your host, Ellen Contreras, and I am sitting with Matt Markley, President and CEO of Hibiscus Children's Center, along with Lacey Buxton, and she is a licensed mental health counselor and director of outpatient clinical services. Okay, and we were going through an overview of what you offer at Hibiscus Children's Center. But before we go back into the conversation, please share the phone number, the website, whatever you want for connection.
So the best way to reach us by phone is going to be 772-340-5750, and the extension is 435. And then our website is www.hibiscuschildrenscenter.org.
Okay. All right.
Very easy to donate if anybody wants to on the website, too. If I could get that pitch in for just a minute.
We're definitely going to go into that.
Okay.
But so hold that thought for a moment, because I wanted to because there was a service also, another thing that you do for the children with horses. So what is that?
Right. So we also provide equine assisted therapy, which allows the kids to they go to a stable, and there's the stable, we do just we have horses, but there's also, it's like a 4-H stable, and this is up my alley because we love animals in my house.
Yeah.
But so it's a 4-H stable. So there's horses, there's goats, there's bunnies, I think there's a pig, there's all kinds of things. But the main activities with the equine assisted therapy is involving the horses. So it's really about just building trust, and it's learning how to trust the animal. And because the animal can also learn to trust you. So it's about teaching them how to trust, how to show trust with others.
Yeah.
And it's a really, really
empathy,
cool
compassion,
yes.
and things. Yep. Okay, so now there is first there is no wait list for the services, right?
No, for our outpatient services right now, we do not have a wait list.
Okay.
If we got a referral today, we're scheduling intakes in next week. Okay. So there is no wait list.
So the first appointment would be next week.
Yes.
Okay. All right. That's good to know. And then there is also a distinction, something that you mentioned during the break, but I forgot. You're like the lead.
Oh. Yes.
But I forgot what it was.
It's okay. We are the lead mental health agency at the Children's Advocacy Center, which is located in St. Lucie West. And it's we like to joke, it's like a one-stop shop. There's DCF there. The child protection team is there. And so it's everything is in one area. So it makes communication with all parties really easy. The continuity of care is really good. I'm big on that because I feel like the easier we can make it for these families and the child, it's just such a confusing time for these families. An abuse report is called in. Yeah. You're now you have to go to the hospital, or you have to go to CPT for a medical exam, or now you have to go here for a forensic interview. Everything being in one spot, and then we can make contact with them immediately. We don't do the intake right away. It's too much all in one day, but we can at least offer them support. Is there anything you need? We're there for de-escalation. If a kiddo becomes dysregulated or the parent needs some assistance, we're there to offer some crisis intervention. We've actually de-escalated several incidents where we've not had to Baker Act that would have initially been a Baker Act had we not been there. So that really helps, mitigate the risk of re-traumatizing the child by them having to go and be Baker Acted. Okay,
so now I want to circle back to how people can support, because there's a lot of programs that do so much good, but the equine program is incredibly popular among the kids, and it does so much good for the kids, but it is not a cheap program. Yeah. So with that said, you have an events, and it's the events and let's get involved or get involved page. Yeah. So please explain that.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. We appreciate that. A couple things I want to say about equine, though. One is that they don't just play with the horses. They learn how to care for the horses as well. And horses don't judge. So it's an awesome experience for the kids. That's why I think it's part of the reason they like it. But in terms of donating, it's easy for folks to donate to Hibiscus. We do receive quite a bit of funding from the state of Florida and some federal funding as well.
That's
but
great,
it's
but
less
it's not
than it
enough,
was.
right?
It's less than it was a year ago or 2 years ago.
Ooh,
And it will
okay.
be less this year than each year.
Right. So we raise about $3 million a year through fundraising activities and grants. So if anybody would like to donate, they can go on our webpage. It's very easy to donate. Okay. And the equine assisted therapy program is not a program that's not funded by anyone. We just pay for it for the kids because we think it's that important. But we used to have funding, but we lost some of the funding. So if anybody would like to donate to help the equine therapy program, that would be awesome. But they can we have 5 or 6 events a year. Now they're all done now. We have a fundraising season, but they will start up in the fall. And so if you go onto our events page, they will tell you when those events occur, and if people would like to come and attend. They're really great events. They're a lot of fun.
Absolutely. Well, not only that, I'm just going to look and point at the camera because it's like one of my favorite things to do. There are so many amazing organizations that I am sure if you go to the events page, then you can see what they're all about, and then you could do sponsorships, right? So it's organizations and individuals that can get involved.
And people can give in kind. You know, if you want to give clothes to Hibiscus, those kind of things. If you want to volunteer, we have a large volunteer group of folks at both the shelter in Jensen and the village here in Vero. People can volunteer. We need volunteers to tutor kids, to read to kids, a lot of different things. So
we also have a thrift store.
We have a thrift store.
Okay.
Yes.
And where is that located?
It's in Jensen Beach. Yes.
And people can donate items there as well. And
very nice, because I think this is the time of year where a lot of people will move over the summer.
Yes.
And a lot of people don't want to move all their things, so they clear out first and then
spring
they
cleaning.
move. Spring cleaning, so you can bring your items over. So that is fantastic.
And when kids age out of the Hibiscus, we help them. We'll give them a couch, love seat, chairs, kitchen table, whatever we have at the thrift store. If they can use it in their new apartment or new place, we try to help them out.
We also have utilized it for outpatient too, for families that have needed items. There's vouchers that we fill out for our clients, and they're able to get the things that they need as well. So it is a really good resource to have.
Yeah, no, I love that. And you also have a career page on your website. Because we were talking about that before the show, that you might, every now and then you're looking for certain types of qualified help. So you do then have these jobs made available on your website.
Yes.
So for people that are in that mental health, children's health and welfare, I guess specialty, we don't have 2 minutes left. I thought we had 10. Anyway, we have 2 minutes left. So talk about your career page.
You mean employment opportunities?
Yeah. That's what I meant.
Well, we have a number of employment opportunities. I think how many therapist positions do you have open right now?
Right now, I have about 5 part-time. We've actually created them to accommodate the need. We are fully staffed currently.
Yeah.
But we don't have a wait list, and we want to keep it that way. So we are looking to hire more people and bring more people in so we can serve more kids in the community. We just want to be able to make sure we can accommodate the need.
That's very good. So even if somebody is watching this or listening to this a year from now, they go to hibiscuschildrencenter.org and then they can see how they can help, volunteer, donate, the job
looking for
employment opportunities. Okay.
That's all
the
listed.
child care workers at Hibiscus are called behavioral health techs. So these are people who work directly with the children. We have a number of openings in the behavioral health tech field, and we're paying pretty good right now. We're paying pretty decent salary right now. So if people are interested in getting into child care, give us a call. Come and look, take a look at us.
Yeah, I think that's great. So we have about 10 more seconds. What do you want to say? Is there something you want to touch on that we didn't touch on?
I just want to give Hibiscus a kudos for all the good work that our staff do, because they work really, really hard.
I want to give Lacey kudos because she's the best mental health director in the state.
Well, and even Cindy is clapping, the show producer. So thank you both very much for being here. My name is Ellen Contreras, host of Treasure Coast Connector. Definitely want to support this organization. I hope everyone has a wonderful, safe, productive week. Until next week, I miss you already.